the marionette. There was him, and then there was the rest of the world. She sometimes felt no perceivable wooden hands or feet. There was only love, not in ounces, but in gallons. Little did she know that she would be called forward for sacrifice. What was sacrifice? Often used useless word, he would say. Of course, there was nothing like that. At least, nothing that he believed in. She peeped over his tattered books. They had no pictures, but it did not matter. What mattered was that she could feel his fingers around her old wooden neck as she lay there lifeless next to him. Masha was a wooden doll, a marionette from Russia that Sandeep found in one of his many escapades around the world. Something about the doll caught my eye and my heart, he would quip. When people asked him why that paint-peeling doll stood smiling on a shelf, like as if heaven was right there. She was a 2 feet tall wooden fairy with broken strings and rouge and lipstick and carefully cut pink netted lace for wings. Now the wings had holes. Maybe Rowdy Rodden's thought it was licorice. That is where he had found her. A dirty face, a dirtier tutu, on a dirt-filled ground, abandoned in cold central Moscow. But she smiled through the cold, and that moved Sandeep's heart. Sandeep was 20 years old, a political science graduate, an artist, a lover, a loner. He was all of that. He sat watching the butterflies in his rose garden, making the most vibrant sketches of trees, the flowers, the green grass, and the little birds. "I'm going to write a creative poem in my head," thought Masha, smiling through her painted mouth. She was alive because she was in his silent presence. "Thank you for blowing life into me. For you, I will do anything," she told him. Only he could not hear. Soon, days moved into months and months into years. Sandeep was now a handsome young man and in a romantic relationship with the most popular girl in his college, Lisa. Lisa was pretty as pink. "My angel," he called her, much to Masha's wooden disappointment. Standstill expressions was all that she was capable of. She wanted to shout her lungs out to tell him that it almost killed her when Lisa came over. But she could not talk, and so he did not hear. "Blind alley full of rabid dogs. That is how girls are nowadays, running behind boys," she sighed and laughed at her little joke. The other toys stared at her in disbelief and disdain. "This toy here has lost it," they whispered to each other secretly. Soon, Lisa moved in with Sandeep, and Masha found herself alone all the time. He had no time for her. He did not stop by to stroke her ragged woolen hair. He did not pick her up. He did not mention his Moscow trip to strangers and how he had found her. Suddenly, she felt very wooden. She was queasy, yet silent. That was all she could do. One day, when Lisa was out buying groceries for the grand Christmas dinner, he decided to read his old tattered books. He looked at Masha and smiled at her. Masha felt the blood in her head drain down her hands right up to her fingertips. How she loved him with every fiber of wretched wood, she thought. He picked her up and held her close, reminiscing about his trip to Moscow. "He still thinks of me," she blushed as his hands brushed across her neck. Nothing mattered when her best friend, her savior, was with her. She closed her eyes and sighed and slumbered. She woke up late to voices of Sandeep and Lisa discussing something. "Baby, it is cold," shivered Lisa. "How could I have forgotten the firewood and the hot coals?" he exclaimed as he searched the old gunny bag near the storeroom. "Brr, it's chilling to the bone," cooed Lisa, and walked around the room until her eyes fell on Masha. "Sweetheart, what may this be?" she asked curiously. Oh, just an old doll, he said, with no feeling in his whiskey voice. Masha gulped. She felt as if she was hit on the head with a heavy metal weapon. You mean a puppet, right? Laughed Liza. Oh, yes, she's a second-hand wooden puppet. He laughed in return. Masha's heart sank. There was nothing she could do. She was drowning. She could not breathe. But he did not care. He never did. I imagined everything, cried Masha. After all, how can wood be equated with blood and bones? She felt unimaginable pain as she uttered those words. Liza had nonchalantly picked her up and broken her right hand. Yes, I think we can use her to keep us warm, Sandeep retorted. Masha's eyes filled with tears. Master, you gave me life by your silent presence. It is only right that I give you my life when you ask for it. The little marionette thought, stifling a sob. Crack! The flames devoured her hungrily. Sandeep's laughter filled Masha's ears. Master, I could be of use to you until my last breath, smiled Masha as she lay in the arms of the giant flames. It was Christmas Eve. Sandeep slept cozy and warm. Masha slept too. There was peace. If you enjoyed listening to the story, please go grab a copy of the book available on the online portals and enjoy turning the pages to experience more of the magical emotion called love. In an era of technology and animations, inanimate objects and cartoon characters are portrayed full of life, energy, and emotions. But we, as humans, and in a busy mechanical world, tend to ignore people around us and behave inanimate. How many of you who read the book or who have seen the illustration in this video notice the puppet lying close to Sandeep with open eyes and a big smile on her face, just enjoying his presence, while Sandeep has a blank face? The author here emphasizes the above said statement, where humans are at times ignorant of love and care. So however busy, let's make time for our loved ones and care for people around us. Thank you for choosing to click on my channel to listen to this story. Please subscribe to my channel so that you will get updates about my next video. Like, share and subscribe. Hello butterflies, simply be in love.